as Uncle Chunty.
Hoi hoi, Uncle Chunt here, welcome to 2019. Yeah, I am like 2 weeks into it, and I'm only just getting back to this stuff. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm using new software. I've got 2 cameras. I'm going to explain the second camera in a moment. Yeah, so I just want to talk about what is happening this year. And I'm happy to say I have no idea. I literally have no idea what's going on, besides trying to grow somewhat of a glorious beard. And that's going to... I don't know how much I'm going to grow it out. I've had a massive beard before. I think I might do that again. I'm tempted. But before we go further, this little guy over here, I found this little camera. I'm going to switch to it in a moment. In an old box, and I wanted to see if it worked. And it still does. So let me introduce you to the Xbox 360 live vision camera. Look, hello. So now I'm going to have 2 views. I shouldn't do that. 2 different angles. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of just play this up somewhat. Once I realized it worked, I figured, screw it, I'm going to use it. It's pretty cool. The light still rings up and everything. The light still rings up. The ring still lights up and all that. So I thought I'd give it some added flair and bring in the old classic Xbox Live Dash back. And all that kind of stuff. You can tell it's a bit grainy. It's not as good as a picture, but this is as good as it was back in the day. And I'm surprised the drivers still work. So yeah, it's just going to be fun. I figured, screw it, I want to have a bit of fun with this, and I can go back and forth between this one over here and that one over here. But this one, obviously it's a better quality, so hopefully you're not going to be too distracted by when I use this lower quality camera. But I don't give a shit, I'm going to have fun. Plus you get to see like what else is in the room, besides the obvious DC stuff in the background. It's all, besides that one Captain America Hot Toys back there. It's essentially all some 2 Hot Toys, Superman Hot Toys back there, Green Lantern back there, and all the other massive statues. This is all good. These statues in the back here, this is the first time since I've moved multiple places where I can actually have these massive Sideshow Collectible statues all out together. Quite proud of that. Anywho, so 2019. I know you're probably thinking, oh fuck, I don't want to talk about 2019. We've already started, we're past that. You missed the mark, Chunty, you missed the mark. But I saw a couple things at the end of 2018 that I want to talk about. It's old news, but I don't care. I want to start off with, because I've had this massive Transformers kick recently, in recent months. I saw Bumblebee, and let me just say, I'm going to keep this a kind of small review. It's BFG crossed with Iron Giant and some Bayverse elements. It's an overly forgettable film. If I was younger and was into the Michael Bay style Transformers, there's all chance that I might have enjoyed it more, but I didn't. There are 2 or 3 scenes that are very good in this movie, and it's all amounts to about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of screen time in a 2-hour film. I believe it was 2 hours, and those are the scenes that are set on Cybertron. I've wanted to see like a War on Cybertron film just forever, and those brief moments in this movie just prove that they can do it. Everybody looks so legit. They're not spaghetti monsters. They're not just mangled metal flailing around on screen. They actually have characteristics, and definable characteristics at that. You can pinpoint who they were. The odd character that would pop on screen every now and then, I'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it was a lot of fan service. It ended about as quick as my sex life, and it was good while it lasted. Now, the ending of the film also kind of has a similar feel to it. There are moments where you see some things and you're like, ooh, I've been wanting to see that in a Transformers movie for ages, and there it is. Just little Easter eggs or fan servicey bits. You know, probably nothing massive for other people to get all excited about. I just realised you're probably getting a whole bunch of Facebook notification sounds. I'm just going to close that because that's annoying and unprofessional, but let's face it, this isn't a professional channel. And yeah, so I didn't really like it too much. I wouldn't go. I don't want to say I wouldn't go see it. I just wouldn't go pay money to see it again. Do I recommend it to those that like Transformers? If you're a Transformers fan, there's a high chance you've already seen it. So there's no point in me making you see it any further than that. If you haven't seen it by now, you're going to wait till Netflix. It's as simple as that. The next film I want to talk about is Aquaman. Hot damn. Now, the same day I saw Bumblebee, I was doing a double feature where I came straight out of Bumblebee and went right into Aquaman, literally like within 5-10 minutes of each other. And what a superior film. Holy, it's night and day, man. Aquaman is amazing. It's unreal. And I guarantee if you haven't seen it, you go see it and you're going to see stuff you've never seen before on film. Just unreal. I was just aghast and happy and joyous that I never thought I'd see such things from a DC movie, let alone a superhero genre. Aquaman has been the butt of many jokes for decades, and those of us like me or DC fans know that he's actually a very badass character. Momoa plays Momoa, but obviously his take on Arthur Curry. But I think the way the film was, it's just like, holy shit, Zack Snyder, thank you for casting Jason Momoa as Aquaman way back when his first appearance in Batman v Superman. Oh, I mean, geez, I can't think of anyone else playing the role. I really can't. That would have actually sold it. You needed, in the mindscape of those who are still tainted and stained by the Super Friends animated cartoon joke that is Aquaman, only someone like Momoa could have played Arthur Curry, King of Atlantis, and make you believe that he's not a loser, so to speak. Yeah, I can't rate it highly enough, and it's just crossed $1 billion, deservedly so, more so than most other superhero genre films. Looking at you, Black Panther. But besides being a cultural cornerstone or touchstone, whatever you want to call it, as far as like the race card goes, it's a fairly average affair. I enjoyed Black Panther, and I think I've got video on my channel somewhere saying that, yeah, holy crap, I really enjoyed Black Panther, but it's got some heavily questionable CG. You know, an overly ho-hum story, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I liked it enough that I wanted to order a Black Panther hot toy from the movie, so that's my little tagline review for that film. But Aquaman is on a whole new level. It's unreal. I can't wait for the Blu-ray. I want the hot toy. You can see back here, there, I've got my Aquaman, the EX version. He comes with a switch out bearded head, thankfully, and he's got a hook hand switch out, but I've just kept the standard hands on there. Not ready for the hook yet. We'll see if they do that in the sequel, and I can swap it out. But holy crap, go see Aquaman. I know it's already crossed $1 billion, but throw your hat in the ring. Give it your monies. It deserves it. You deserve to see the film. It's just amazing CG, amazing world, amazing characters, stunning vistas, stunning visuals, amazing colors, amazing action. By all rights, it shouldn't have been this good, really. It's Aquaman. In what world did it deserve to be this good, according to mainstream you know, zeitgeist of this character, you know, like I just, yeah, far out. Go see it. I can't rave on it about it enough, and I'm not going to much further, so I'll save you from it. So those two films I saw while I was away on holidays. Well spent. I'm glad I did the double feature, because I would have been sorely disappointed if I only saw Bumblebee that day. Aquaman picked it up, and a week later I took my mum to see it, and yeah, she loved it just as much. Stunning film. Give me the Blu-ray right now. I want it, and I want it now. So I'm back home. Back home, so to speak. Home. It is currently where I reside, because God knows how long I'm going to be here for. A lot of things have changed. A lot of focus to change. Last year was quite the task. Not gonna lie. So 2019, it just can't be a repeat. It honestly can't. So we're off to a good start this year. The last movie of 2018 I saw was Aquaman, and the first movie I saw of 2019 was Aquaman, both in the same theater. So I started off really well, and yesterday, Sunday just passed, I had a double feature of The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen, 2 animated films. The new part was part 2. Reign of the Superman was coming out in a week. So across the country there was this one day where you got to see this part, but they did a double feature where they played The Death of Superman animated film. Oh God, excuse me, before it. And goodness gracious me, they put out like 3 or 4 of these animated films a year. Why don't we always get them in theaters? It was unreal. I've used that word like 10 times already, but it was. Like, I would go to see them. I really would, if they put them out one day a year per one, or per movie, if they're going to do that. I would go see them all. I really would. I can't believe we live in a world where we don't get to see such things on the big screen. Animated features like this. Like, it's all the rage, you know, massive films and 3D animated movies and all this whatnot, but I mean, I don't mind. I've got the Blu-rays of these animated movies and digital copies of them, but seeing this Death of Superman animated movie on the big screen was something else. I remember when I saw it for the first time at home, and even though I don't have the best sound or anything at home, but even man, the movie was that good for a cartoon if you want to say it that way. Man, I even got choked up in that movie. They did it so well. It was like just brutal. Just Superman getting brutalized. And then the build up with Doomsday, it's just like the comic, but the build up with Doomsday coming down, and you know he just doesn't care. He's just a mindless killing machine, just path of destruction across Metropolis, and you know, the surrounds building up, and then he takes out every member of the Justice League, and you know, in comes Superman with his little side quest story, I guess if you want to call it, with Lois. Just, yeah, it's a very, very good film. There's lots of Zack Snyder Batman vs Superman influence in it. It's just damn obvious, and I don't want to name names, but there's people that are involved in these movies that helped Batman vs Superman and the Snyder cut of Justice League. And I don't want to spoil anything for Reign of the Supermen, but that I really enjoyed that one as well for what it was. I think the 2 parts peaked at the last third, I want to say, of the first movie, Reign of the Supermen. They had a lot to do, a lot of plot threads to kind of tie up in this one story, and I think they did as good as they can. Steel was awesome. I actually really liked Steel. Superboy, they handled him much better than I thought they were going to. Superboy, did I say? Yeah. Cyborg Superman, they actually made me very interested in that character. I always thought, whatever, man. It's just a robot trying to think he's Superman. But they really played it up a bit more and made it more interesting in this. The actual climax to that character's arc is vastly different than in the actual comics, but that's fine. Is what it is. And I'm forgetting one. Oh, the Eradicator. I think they handled that a lot better. Even I was a bit confused in the comics. I didn't quite have a grasp on the character, but this one made it clearer or better to understand. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Does it benefit from being a double feature? Yes, I think it does. I don't think I quite would have enjoyed it as much had I not seen the Death of Superman recent before I saw that one. Like if I knew it was coming out and I watched the Death of Superman again before I went to see it, like at home or a week before or whatever at home, I still would have enjoyed it more. But if I came into it cold, or if I hadn't watched the first part in a year or so, I don't think it might have been as enjoyable or impactful. But it was a good experience. People were laughing at both movies. Like there were, character moments, not slapstick jokes, but just character moments that were humorous and funny. And the crowd is there was a good turnout too. I was a bit concerned. I didn't think we'd get many people in. I got a friend request. Funny that. And yeah, so thoroughly enjoyed it. So I've seen a lot. I was going to do more expansive reviews on these things, but can't be bothered. So, and I just want to put it all into one video rather than cutting it up. I'm kind of reworking the Chuntcast thing. People have DM'd me or inboxed me and left comments suggesting that I do camera work, or at least put myself on camera, because they like seeing who's talking. I understand that. It's half the communication, so I get that. So I'm just trying to rework this, some new graphics and whatever. I'm still working it out, but this little camera here is part of the fun. This little camera here is half the reason why I'm doing video again for my videos. So you can thank this little dude, and you can see the little picture just there. Yes, so I've seen those. I've seen Bumblebee, seen Aquaman, the double feature of Death of Superman story. This weekend just gone, I smashed Titans, the new Netflix DC Titans season 1. Holy mackerel! Did I have some low expectations? Like pretty damn low. Like even from the trailer, I was like, ooh, I don't know about this. Is it being dark for the sake of being dark? I'm gonna get off the bat right now. People are whinging that this is not my Teen Titans. Robin's not that brutal in the comics. Beast Boy wouldn't do that. Me. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but this is really dark. This series is as realistic as you're gonna get. If you put a bunch of teenagers or young adults, well, I'm gonna say young adults because I really can't say any of them are actual teenagers at this point in their life. But if you're going to put a bunch of young adults in the real world, in the situations that they're in, it's not going to be, cracking jokes, quips here and there, and bright colours and sunshine and rainbow and, whatever Teen Titans is. The actual comics, Teen Titans back in the day, even had some pretty dark moments, but not like this. So I just want to put that out there. The people that are whinging like, oh, it's too dark. Well, if you were in these same situations, you would probably have grown up just like them, or you'd react just like them. There's a lot of moments where it's quick of the fed, or quick of the dead, whatever you want to say, like fight or flight moments, where you have to do some of the things that they do in this to survive. It's pretty freaking brutal. I don't want to say brutal. There's lots of F-bombs. And I think that's like, well, everyday people do that. Young teenagers, they throw, cursing left and right these days. But some of them are funny. The way they're used is natural. In some parts, I actually laughed in some of the ways they use the F-bombs, where it was like natural, it flowed well, it felt organic, and I had a chuckle. Again, I'm going to try and not spoil as much, because I know there's some people that haven't watched it yet and they don't have the luxury like me. I marathoned it Friday night. I didn't get to start going to bed until 3 a.m. I watched them all, 12 episodes. Stay behind after the credits, the last episode 12. Holy shit, stay behind. That woke me up just enough to be like, oh my fucking god. Very cool indeed. But even throughout, there were a couple lulls, but every story has a lull where it's okay. all this shit's happened, let's talk about it. All this shit's happened, let's talk about it. It's just, you know, TV shows, they do that. I am pleasantly surprised by this season. I can't wait for season 2. I'm not just saying it as a DC fanboy. You know, as I said, I went in with quite low expectations, but I came out of it going, holy mackerel, yeah, I'll have some more of this. And my only main gripe, and I don't care, Starfire, I wish they did something else with the character. Yes, this world is dark, and I guess where this story alludes to where she's come from, or her past, makes sense, I guess, knowing the character from the comics. Corey's kind of, you know, their race is very sensual, very sexually open, so I guess it makes sense on how they introduce her into the story and what kind of woman she is, or the industry that she works in or worked in. I just, you know, I don't know. I think they could have done something else without having to go that kind of, you know, brick in the face. Yes, this is the kind of woman she is. It's alluded to heavily. It's up for interpretation, and that's how I interpret it. So I don't know if I'm right, but I got used to the hair. Not gonna lie. Once she takes off the massive fur coat, she doesn't look like a giant anymore, or, you know, some monolith. I couldn't think of another word. So once she takes that the fur coat, it's just this huge thing, and it makes her look really like stocky. And she's in like this super small, like thin, purple dresses, like Starfire, purple, the ones that we know from the comics. She's in that color, some really nice dresses, and I was like, damn. Like, you know, she's an attractive woman regardless, but I was like, well, okay, cool. Can you leave the fur coat off more? It doesn't make her look much of a whore at that point anymore. The more she leaves it off, it's just, that's, you know, I didn't want to say it, but when you first introduced to her and the way she looks like a woman of the night, you know, a whore basically. You know, it's kind of, I've put off by it, but as the story progresses, she wears it less and less, and, you know, I don't know if that's part of the progression of the character, figuring out who she is and all that, but she becomes more feminine and more confident and knows herself more. So I like that kind of arc, and yeah, like really some moments I was like, damn, you know, she's a pretty lady. So yeah, and everything else, it's brutal, man. There's blood, there's gore, and, you know, some nudity, there's a bit of sex. Yeah, just F-bombs all over the place. I couldn't believe it. Just, you know, for DC Teen Titans, even though it's Titans, young adults. But I think they went really hard into it. It's not just for shock value though, thankfully. That was my other concern going in. I was like, the tone for this trailer, is it going to be just constant shock value for the sake of shock value? Because, oh look, we're doing this now. So thankfully for me, that's not what it was. And we actually had somewhat of a cohesive story thread line. There is one major standout episode that I cannot spoil for you, but they meet another group of people gifted different strange characters about halfway through, and I can see why it got its own show greenlit out of this. Story goes, basically, while they were filming this episode, they enjoyed it so much, and the end results, they enjoyed it so much that they're like, damn, you know, this should have its own show, and basically that's what happened. And I can see why. It's a definite standout, and there's Jeff Johns all over it, you can tell. So Jeff Johns is a prolific DC Comics writer, creative officer at DC and all that kind of stuff, or at least he was until recently. So yeah, Titans, man, go give it a go. Holy shit, don't let your kids watch it. Don't. You know, make them watch Teen Titans Go to the movies or something. Or the other Teen Titans Go show. No, Teen Titans, just the one before Teen Titans Go. I hate all that garbage. There's on Cartoon Network, they had a half decent one that I kind of got into. It was pretty cool. Make them watch that one if they haven't already. So look, there's been a lot to digest in the last week and a half. And besides that, the whole new story, I'm catching up on Game of Thrones. I'm halfway through season 4 now. Finally getting to it. So don't spoil shit or I'll ban and delete your ass. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up now because it's about 25 minutes-ish. And I've been yabbering on. But I thought I'd throw out a little video to start off 2019 with. I've got to stop saying like ums and ahs and stuff all the time. I work in a bloody... I work on the phones all day, so you'd think I'd have that bad habit kicked by now. But anywho, to wrap up, I'm going to put on my Xbox Live camera. I like this thing. I'm going to have some fun with it. Hopefully you find this quite hilarious and enjoyable. I like my blades too. I miss the blades. Bring back the blades. My favourite dash, unfortunately, for today's world, because we don't have it anymore, is the original Xbox Classic. You know, and the green and the humming and the weird in the background and stuff. God damn, that's my favourite. Fuck, I love that console. Oh, I almost made it through this whole video without saying the F word. Oh well, failed at the end. Anywho, more to come. Toy reviews are coming. I'm figuring out my stuff. This is just a quick video. Don't take any of this kind of stuff as final. You're going to notice at the start of the video it's still the old graphic package that I've got organised. Because I have my beard now, the silhouette or negative image of the blackout image or whatever I've done, the artistic thing, doesn't suit anymore, and I've also shaved my head as well, so I don't have hair. So that whole image is just completely outdated now. So I figured I'm not going to include my face in anything. It's just going to be standard new brand new logos, which you can see down the bottom and up the top. Still placeholder stuff, but they're probably just going to stay there, let's be real. Anywho, shit, I'll keep rambling, fuck's sake. There's the second swear word. I'm going to go. Uncle Chunty out. I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully the next one is a toy review.